Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey with the JX Fight Club in Shanghai, China, but I'm currently over here in Los Angeles, California on vacation. Woohoo! Hence this swanky chair and this sweet backdrop here. Our question today comes from Booker Colson, who says, could I get your suggestion on how to control anger in sparring? I get very frustrated when I spar to the point where I can't think. And then, when I lose, I get very upset. Okay, Booker, that's a great question. The first thing I'm going to say is stop thinking of it as winning and losing. Sparring is not winning and losing. As soon as you understand that, it's going to get easier. Sparring is about learning. It's about sharing technique. It's about having this shared experience with another training partner and helping each other improve and get ready to fight for real, where winning and losing actually does come into play. How do you get to the point where you feel angry about losing in sparring to the point where you start having fun with it, where you start enjoying it? I've seen this a number of times, especially from new students, so I'm going to assume that you're pretty new to sparring. Because if you've been sparring for years and years and you're getting angry about it still, that's a problem, my friend. So I'm assuming you're a fairly new student, you're fairly new to sparring. And I'm assuming you're probably getting capitalized on by the more experienced fighters at the gym. They're probably squashing you a little bit. They're probably beating you up a little bit. They're probably catching you with stuff that you don't see right now, and that's frustrating. And that's understandable. I get that. And that's okay. That's okay to be frustrated. So I actually have a jiu-jitsu tournament. I signed up for a jiu-jitsu tournament this Saturday, tomorrow, over at a gym called Brea Jiu-Jitsu in Brea, California. So Southern California peeps, stop by. Why not? Stop by and watch. I haven't done a gi jiu-jitsu tournament in years. So we'll see how this goes. But I went and I trained with these guys at Brea. I've trained with them a number of times. I make it a point to stop by whenever I'm in the Los Angeles area because I really enjoy their curriculum, how they do things. It's a good gym. Shout out to Brea Jiu-Jitsu. But it's frustrating because these guys are good, and they're especially good at one thing: using the gi to tie you up into knots. And so it turns into this real-time problem-solving issue where you have to untie the knot before they can catch you. And as an MMA guy, that's frustrating to me because most of my grappling is done without the gi, and so I don't have to deal with that issue, and it's frustrating. And I don't get mad there at the gym. I'm always very respectful, always shake their hand, say good job, that kind of thing. But inside, when I go home, I start thinking, how do I untie that knot? How do I fix that dilemma that I wasn't able to fix before? That black belt that I rolled before, that did that really cool thing with the gi that I wasn't able to figure out. How do I figure that thing out? So that I could go back and beat him next time, potentially. Yeah, I think this stuff. And that's important to think. Because that's where problem solving begins. We realize that we're not enough. We're not good enough to rise to that occasion. And so we go home, we do some homework, we think it over, we mull it through, we figure something out, we go back and try it again, we probably fail again, but we go back to the drawing board, we think it through, we process it, and we do a little bit better next time. And then eventually we're able to figure out that thing that black belt did to catch us, and then we shut it down, but then he catches us with a different thing. So when you're starting out, or when you're playing against somebody with a lot of experience in a certain area that you don't, you're going to be playing a game of catch-up, and that's understandably frustrating. But don't let it get you down. When that anger starts to cloud your judgment, well, you stop thinking, and you start reacting. You stop acting, and you start reacting. We want to be actors. We want to act. We don't want to be acted upon. Because when we are acted upon in a fight or in life, we are losing. And even though, as I said before, sparring is not a matter of winning and losing, it's a matter of learning. If we are not learning from sparring, we are losing. Even if we beat the pants off of our sparring partner, especially if we beat the pants off of our sparring partner and we learn nothing, we have just lost. So if you're getting overwhelmed and you're not learning anything because your judgment is clouded with anger, yeah, you're also losing in that respect. So let's figure out how to win at sparring. Here's how you win at sparring. You learn something every time. You go back to the drawing board. You humble yourself. You eat a lot of humble pie. After every sparring session at my gym, I always ask my athletes, my students, is anybody injured? Are there any injuries? Does anybody need first aid? And once in a while, some of my students will raise their hand and said, my pride is injured. And I say, good. Good, it should be. Injure it. Kill it. Murder it. Beat it to death. Beat it to death, my friends. Because that pride is going to hold you back. It won't help you. It won't help you. It'll hold you back. So how do you get over that anger? How do you stop being angry? There's no quick fix for that, man. There are no quick tricks for fighting. It takes experience. You have to put yourself through that situation again and again and again. Now, I'm assuming you're a beginner, but on the off chance that you're already pretty good and you're just sparring or rolling with some guys who are just catching you once in a while and you get mad about that, because that happens, I would suggest start sparring with people who can absolutely crush you. And don't give up. Because this is what I see a lot with people who get angry. They give up. And when you give up, you stop learning. How many times have I seen this? Some young guy comes into the gym, feels like he's hot stuff. He rolls for a minute or he spars for a minute. He gets spanked. And then he stomps and he swears and he runs off the mat and refuses to get back on because his pride is hurt. Please don't let that be you. And these guys could fix the problem if they would just get back on the mat and keep training and just swallow their pride and feel like, well, okay, I got caught. Let's keep going. Let's keep learning something. Let's fix it. But they don't. Why not? Because they are allowing an emotion to control them. One of the most important victories that you need to win early on is a battle with emotions. Man, I'm raising 2 children right now, 2 little girls. I have 2 daughters, one's 4 and one is 7. And little girls are slaves to emotion. When their feelings get hurt, those tears are uncontrollable. And I try to console them. I try to make it all better. But as long as that emotion persists within their souls, they will cry. And they will be a slave to that emotion. And I'm not saying don't cry. Crying, it's important. It is cathartic. We need to let those tears out, man. I had a viewer ask me a while back on my Facebook page. He said, Ramsey, is it okay for men to cry? And I said, why wouldn't it be? And he said something along the lines of, well, he grew up in a culture where it was shunned and frowned upon for men to cry. And yeah, guess what? So did I. So do most men. Most men are told they have to feel a very specific way. The only emotions they're allowed to feel are the negative ones. Angry. And that may be part of the problem here. That you grew up in a culture where it was generally believe that men are only allowed to feel anger, and not that beautiful catharsis that comes from swallowing your pride and shedding tears. When was the last time you cried, my friend? Serious question. When was the last time you cried? I don't know if this is the solution to your problem, but give it a try. The worst that will happen is your face will get a little bit wet. And it's one thing to say, suck it up, buttercup. And maybe that's what you need right now, just a kick in the pants and suck it up, buttercup, get back out on the mat, get back in the ring, and finish the fight, finish the work. Don't quit. Don't quit because of how you're feeling. Don't be a slave to that emotion. But at the same time, that's right up there with telling a little girl who has had her feelings hurt, yeah, suck it up, buttercup, don't cry. See, we can say that to a man, suck it up, buttercup. That doesn't work so well with women. There was this young woman that I was coaching a few years back, and she wanted to be a professional fighter, and she got frustrated from time to time because fighting is hard. And she got really frustrated with sparring. She got frustrated, same as you, with losing while sparring, and she got angry. And I tried the suck it up buttercup thing with her, and that works pretty well with guys, because they're like, yeah, okay, I see the other guys in the gym are seeing that I'm being a little wimpy turd, so I'm gonna just get back out there and train. But that doesn't work so well with women. It's just the way human culture is. And she got mad at me, like, wanted to bite my head off. Just made her more angry. So if my words are making you more angry, well, you know what? Use that anger. Let that compel you to get back on the mat. Because here's the thing. Anger will sustain you for about 30 seconds, and then after that, you actually have to know how to fight. So if you get angry, yeah, use that anger to get back out on the mat, and yeah, 30 seconds later, okay. Then it becomes about technique. Again, I'm assuming that anger is putting you in a frame of mind where you feel like you don't want to be on the mat anymore. You don't want to be in the gym anymore. You don't want to train anymore. Do you see why that holds you back? Because the less time you spend on the mat, the less time you spend in the gym, the fewer hours you log sparring, the worse you're going to be. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train.